Welcome to CPAC Now, America Uncanceled. And once again, we've got Larry O'Connor with us,
the
great radio host, WMAL.
About it.
What do you want me to do?
Like, I don't know. It sounds
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
No,
Larry O'Connor is joining us today on CPAC Now, America Uncanceled. Yay!
You seem kind of disappointed.
It's not that. I'm just
Matt will be back. Don't worry.
Can I tell you, I'm just so traumatized between the princess and the princes, and then they're going to take that all out. So what is it going to be, Prince X?
I don't know. Well, no, they're going to keep
Latin
the princess.
X, Prince X.
I assure
what are we
you,
gonna
Disney
do?
will keep the princesses because they make
a lot of money
Yes,
off of
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
but you know, I think this has been continues to be one of the top stories. And you wrote an op-ed.
I did over at Town Hall.
At Town Hall, which Matt actually called me and goes, "You got to read this op-ed. It's fantastic."
Oh, that's nice. Did he know it was that I wrote it? Probably not.
I told him that you wrote it.
All right.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I had to remind him. He's like,
No,
it must be a really smart guy who wrote it. I go, "It's Larry." He goes, "Really?" No, he didn't say that. I'm just
so
kidding.
unfair.
I'm just kidding.
That's all right.
But
I have a
okay,
strong ego.
so far, let me ask, you do your radio
Yes.
show every morning.
Yes.
Have you gotten a lot of reaction?
Huge
on this
response. Huge response.
Disney
And I got to
issue?
tell you, I mean, it's like impossible to like boycott Disney, right? Because
Right.
they like own everything. You got to.
Yeah.
But people are very motivated right now. They're
I know.
deleting the Disney Plus app. They are reacting to this because Disney has spent all these decades building this brand that your kids are safe with their content, and now it's revealed when you see what they say behind closed doors.
Can we show that quick clip?
Sure.
Real quick?
Let's jump in here, and this is from Chris Rufo, great journalist who got this from an internal executive meeting.
Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. And so I feel like I felt like it was, maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess something must have happened in the last, they're turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that momentum that I felt, that sense of, I don't have to be afraid to let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background. I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family. But I just was no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
That's creator of the Proud Family, I think, which was a Disney show animated program specifically geared toward young children on Disney Channel. And I mean, this whole idea of we're injecting queer storylines, and they know I'm doing it, and it's not secret, and it's how about this? How about you write an entertaining show?
But here's the problem. It was secret because we find this out.
Yeah.
Right? They
and
don't
what I meant
go out and be public about it.
It wasn't secret in the offices. It wasn't
secret. But it was secret
in
the, they made this conscientious decision to basically attack family values, and they don't notify their customers.
Yeah.
It wasn't well, this is our plan and this is what we're doing. So then the customer can decide, wait a second, I don't want my kids to watch this.
Yeah.
But instead they just put it in there as much as they can, indoctrinate the children, try to sexualize them at the ages of 4 and 5, and this is and then the parents find out, oh, wait a second, why is my kid watching the show? This is kind of strange.
And
what's
if
going
the
on
parents
here?
ever even find out, because for the longest time, parents trusted the Disney brand and said, well, the kids are watching the Disney Channel. In fact, I remember at the beginning when we first started letting our kids watch television, it was no, you can only watch the Disney Channel.
That's right. That was a safe place to go.
Because we could trust it.
Right.
And they betrayed that trust.
Right.
And people are reacting to it in a very significant way. And I think that it's sad because I love Disney. It's been a part of my life since I was a little kid. But this is a real betrayal, and people are feeling it, and it's going to hurt them in a big way.
What's challenging to watch is that, and I had an opportunity to be with Winsome Sears, our great lieutenant governor,
future governor of Virginia.
She is really remarkable, and she's
great.
on fire. And she was talking about how it's fascinating to watch how they're we talk about these 50 genders, but yet we can't even talk about what it is to be a woman. How do you define a woman, right? Here you have President Biden saying, I'm going to select a black woman to be the Supreme Court nominee.
Right.
Right? Then you have this woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson, basically up there. She's a mother of a daughter. She has a daughter. Her mother is a woman. Her daughter is a girl.
You're taking a big leap there.
The senator who asked the question to the
Marsha
judge,
Blackburn from Tennessee.
a woman,
yes,
and yet the judge can't define a woman.
Right. Cory Booker is weeping because he's so proud that the first black woman has been nominated to the Supreme Court, and then that actual black woman can't even tell you what woman means.
Exactly.
How do we know that she is a black woman?
Exactly. I'd like
Well,
to
I mean, we know she's black.
Can I just say?
Yes.
Okay, so we had our very own Colton Furlow go out to the Supreme Court and talk to a lot of different people,
That's
and you're
right.
going to be shocked at their reaction.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Here at CPAC, we don't just comment on these things and complain about it and then throw up our hands. No, we do something about it. You want to know how to define a woman? We're going to go out on the streets, we're going to talk to people, and we're going to have them define woman. Watch what happens.
Hey everyone, my name is Colton Furlow. I'm right outside the United States Supreme Court here in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And I'm here to ask one major question. Can anyone define what a woman is? Right. Can you define what a woman is?
Oh, I'm not going to get into that kind of gotcha kind of thing that's going on in this country.
No, it's not a gotcha. You know, our Supreme Court nominee couldn't even define what a woman is. Are you a woman?
No,
Why not?
because I identify as a man because that's who I chose to be. And,
You chose to be it.
well, I was born as a man.
So you're admitting that you were a man because you were born as a man, not because you chose to be a man.
Well, I was born as a man.
No. What is wrong with people? Why do they have such a hard time defining what a woman is? It's either you have the parts or you don't have the parts. It's pretty simple. Can any of you define what a woman is?
Oh, that's a trick question. I saw that on TV.
It's not a trick question. The Supreme Court nominee was asked that in her confirmation hearing and could not give an answer. Do you find that concerning?
I find you concerning.
Why? Because I know what a woman is? Oh, very tolerant of you. She must be a lefty.
Why? Because she used her left hand?
Yes, that was very clever. We are right here. No, we're right here. You are here. You don't know what a woman is? She's a woman? Okay, I like it. All right, no worries. They're tourists, not biologists.
Well, I don't think we can define a woman physically speaking in one word. I mean, now,
Are you a woman?
yes, of course.
Why are you a woman?
Because I feel
I feel like a woman. Dun, 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 dun. Do you think I'm a woman?
Do you feel a woman? Do you consider yourself?
No. No, because the doctors told me when I came out of the womb that I was a man.
But do you live your life by what the doctors told you?
It's biology, is it not?
But it's your life and your body. Like I said, it's just whatever makes you happy.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Are you happy?
No. Move that bus. Move that bus.
It's a ridiculous question. Thank you. Go away.
Move that bus. Since the United States Supreme Court nominee, going through her confirmation process, was asked the question, can you define what a woman is? She says, I can't because I'm not a biologist. So she already admitted that it's biology, not psychology, gender and sex, same thing. Hey, can you define what a woman is? Hey, scooter girl. Okay, so it's 2022, and I don't want to assume, but are you a woman?
Yes,
Can you tell me why you're a woman?
because I was born a woman.
So it has to do with biology, correct?
Sure.
Okay, so do you think it's a little concerning that the nomination and the nominee for the Supreme Court of the United States could not define what a woman is?
Yes.
If Joe Biden ran his campaign saying that he's going to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court, which is racist and identity politics, but that's a whole different story, how can we say that she's the first black woman to be on the Supreme Court if she doesn't know what a woman is?
You can't.
We have our winner here. So, does anyone think it's concerning that the nominee for the Supreme Court of the United States cannot give a definition of what a woman is during her confirmation hearings?
That's kind of concerning, honestly, because she's a
think
woman and it's just crazy. Like,
Aaron, so over here we have the Washington Monument. Can we do like the pinch picture where I like pinch the tip of it?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it.
Got it.
Cool.
Dude,
Sweet.
Let's go.
You know, first of all, great job.
I know.
That was fantastic.
Talent.
He is. He's very funny. But it's terrifying because you could see these women wanted to answer, but they were terrified to actually give a basic answer to a basic question.
You're right. They were trying so hard to be politically correct and not upset anyone.
Yes.
And it's just, I find it to be, it's just so sad.
It is.
It's sad that these women don't stand up for women.
Yeah.
Think about that.
By the way, happy final day of Women's History Month.
Well, we don't have Women's History Month anymore, apparently.
Well, we
according
don't have
to
women
these-
anymore.
Exactly.
I don't know. This may be the last Women's History
So
Month
what do we
ever.
do about Women's History Month if we can't even define what a woman
It's
is?
going to become chest feeder birthing people history
Birthing
month.
People History Month.
Yeah,
Gosh,
congratulations,
Larry, you're
everybody.
so
you know, I
good.
think outside the box. That's what I'm.
You totally do.
My God, we are losing our culture. Everyone,
I know.
Please,
I know.
Please work with us. Let's save what we've got.
I know, and sadly, we've seen that Senator Susan Collins from Maine, she will vote to confirm Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Think about it; she didn't even vote. Susan Collins did not even support Amy Coney Barrett.
I know,
and
it's
she's supporting this
despicable.
person because we can't call her. I don't know if we can call her a woman anymore. This woman who doesn't even know how to define a woman.
Yeah.
It's just so tragic.
I know
mean,
that everybody wants to, oh, look at, we got a 92-4 vote for Ruth Bader Ginsburg and a unanimous vote for Scalia. Right, great. That was 40 years ago. It's not going to happen anymore. Every single Republican who sat there during the Kavanaugh hearings, who saw what happened to Brett Kavanaugh, for them to then vote for any Democrat nominee at this point without any full apologies, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Schlapp, you're live on CPAC now, and I'm here with
Matt.
Larry.
Oh my God, are you guys taping?
Yeah, say hi
right
to everybody.
Now. Just say hi to everybody.
Oh, hello everyone. How are you? I'm working hard.
Yeah,
Good, I'm glad.
oh, look at how guilty he's at.
What, you
I'm
think we're
working
having
hard.
fun? I mean, seriously.
Wait, that sounded like a swimming pool in the background.
Honey.
No, but I did do that.
Okay.
I need to talk to you about vacation, so call me when you're done with Larry.
I'm working really hard, but let's talk about vacation.
We never have a vacation, honey. Are you kidding me? But yes, I can't.
I'm going to combine it with CPAC work. So
Oh, that's
Look at it.
great.
He's so-
That's great. You're going to keep working throughout
Matt
vacation.
Schlapp, how dare you? Every day of your married life with Mercedes is a vacation.
That is, oh, Larry, that is so sweet. Okay,
Well, it
honey.
depends on if there's homework.
Okay, we got to drop off. We're literally in the middle
bye.
of production.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Yes, and we have a congressman coming up next.
Yes.
Congressman Perry of Pennsylvania is going to be joining us. So,
Scott Perry, great guy, and we're going to be talking about immigration and the border crisis.
so stick with us. It's coming up next.
Hey everyone, this is Matt Schlapp with CPAC, and it's my privilege to tell you that we've got a very important project that we've just announced, the First Amendment Fund. It's a brand new fund that we've created through our criminal justice reform efforts to raise money to take care of you, Americans who are being canceled and desecrated out there around the country. We know it just happened in Virginia, where parents were called domestic terrorists by the Biden administration, where people who just want to express their political views are canceled left and right. Now we have this terrible specter of a vaccine mandate where you can lose your job or be prevented from going to a restaurant or go to school according to your vaccination status. These are all the things that are happening in this country that are making people realize that America is in a fight to defend the principles that have made her great. If you want to be involved in this important effort, please go to conservative.org, click the link for the First Amendment Fund. Please donate to this C3 to help these victims across the country, including those who are just involved in politics, to make sure they have the legal representation they need to be able to live their great American life.
The good news is, Larry,
Yes.
I am a woman,
All right.
and you're not.
If you say so.
I know. But anyways,
Everything's up.
our next guest is not a woman either. In fact, he is chairman of the House Freedom Caucus and a dear friend of CPAC's and a great,
And I assure
great
you, this is
congressman
the first
from
time he has
Pennsylvania.
ever been introduced like this.
We have to introduce ourselves like this now.
You're right about that, and I'm not a biologist either. But I do have a mom. I have a wonderful wife, and we've got two beautiful little girls, and we can recognize them for who and what they are.
I know what
Congressperson Scott Perry of Pennsylvania.
Yes. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. But to Larry's point, are they going to get rid of the word man and woman?
I think
Didn't
the Speaker do that when you started this session?
Yes, the rules disallow you from saying it, so they break the rules every day. And of course, we just found out that at Disney, they want to get rid of those pronouns as well. So. I'm not sure where we're headed with all this, but I know where we are in our family, so we're good there.
Congressman, you just have to hear Larry O'Connor's impersonation, where the announcement that now they've gotten rid of it.
You're not going to hear this anymore, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 15 minutes, we'll have the Main Street. I can't even want to say.
Anyways, so now you know who was involved in musical theater and who wasn't involved in musical theater.
Right,
okay?
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get started. There's a lot going on in the news. I think one of the biggest things that we're tracking right now is this horrific crisis on the border. There's the anticipation that you're going to continue to see hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants pouring into our border. Obviously, we're also seeing the fact that and word that Joe Biden is going to get rid of Title 42, which, as we know, has been in place and having these restrictions in place because of COVID. And now saying, thoughts are we're going to get rid of it. What did the House Freedom Caucus do in terms of making sure that the Biden administration does not move in this direction?
Well, we sent all our Democrat colleagues in the House and the Senate a letter urging them to urge the president. He doesn't listen to the House Freedom Caucus, but maybe he'll listen to them, including Senators Kelly and Sinema from Arizona. And various representatives in the Democrat caucus in the House of Representatives. Maybe he'll listen to them because they apparently know how bad it's going to be for the country, and they certainly know how bad it's going to be for their reelection. And look, if they don't believe in the country, maybe they believe in getting reelected, and they will do the right thing for that. We just hope that they'll do the right thing. And quite honestly, they should. The Remain in Mexico policy is really where we should be.
Yeah.
But they're literally letting hundreds of thousands. Of course, we're on track for 1 million by half a year here. Another 2 million over the course of the calendar year. We're on track for yet another record level of illegal foreign entry into our country. And the Biden administration is going to do nothing except become more efficient at moving these people that are here illegally into the interior of the country. And that's really what this is all about.
Right. Congressman, credit where it's due. Even Obama's Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson said that this is an unsustainable situation at our border. Even Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, a Democrat, said that you can't get rid of Title 42 without having something to replace it, something that will actually fix the problem at hand. Can you tell us, Congressman, can the administration just do this unilaterally, or must they seek some sort of congressional approval on this? What can you do other than just sending a letter?
We can't do much, and that's why we're doing what we can, is to inform everybody so that citizens will talk to their representatives. They have the majority. Of course, they have the executive branch with Joe Biden sitting in the seat of the United States presidency. And so he can do this, and apparently he intends to do this. All we can do is continue to prevail upon reasonable minds and reasonable people that live in our communities that don't want to. Look, Larry and Mercedes, we have record levels of drug use. We have record levels of overdose deaths. We have record levels of fentanyl pouring into our country, child trafficking. At a time where we're going to, we're going to confirm a Supreme Court nominee who's going to be light on child sexual abuse and child pornography. This is a horrific situation. We're just trying to do everything we can to inform citizens so they can talk to their representatives and urge them to make sure that the Biden administration does not do this.
Just to follow up, so everybody, and listen, we have a very plugged in and well-read and up to speed audience, but just in case they don't know, Title 42 is specifically from the Center for Disease Control. This has to do with diseases coming across our border. Last I checked, there was a worldwide pandemic not too long ago. Now, thanks to the incredible diligent efforts and sacrifices of the American people, we've been able to get around the corner on this thing. But what makes the Biden administration think that the over 100 countries that are represented by those who are illegally crossing our border, that somehow they are free of the pandemic? This could very realistically bring back more of COVID-19 into this country, and we could very easily stop it.
Well, you're exactly right. And quite honestly, it's not just COVID-19, because there could be other things coming. You know, the United States is an incredibly safe place because for decades and 100 years, we've been really working on eradicating things that are still prolific around the world, or at least evident around the world. And we put ourselves at risk by letting these people come through without any kind of checks. And so while Americans are still wearing masks on airplanes, and I hate to be snarky here, but maybe we should have the National T-Shirts Federation contact the Biden administration. They seem to be able to get things done their way when they want to. So maybe that's the answer.
That's a great point.
No kidding. The other thing that we've also heard is that the Biden administration, they want to move forward and vaccinate illegal immigrants coming into the country. I can't imagine. I mean, right now you're seeing the Border Patrol agents completely stressed out because of the constant influx of illegal immigrants. Just in February alone, it was over 164,000 illegal immigrants that were apprehended. And now you're talking about the fact that they want to, that we're looking at the federal government to vaccinate the people coming through the border. I mean, how is this possible, and what's the cost to taxpayers?
Well, we don't know the cost yet, but we do know this. We are using National Guard personnel in many institutions to prop up the healthcare facilities in our country, because we have fired people that refused to take the vaccine. At the same time, those were the people on the front lines when the pandemic was raging. And while all that's happening, while we're told that everybody that comes across our border illegally or otherwise is subject to all the rights preserved under the Constitution of the United States, apparently the right to refuse to have yourself stuck with something doesn't apply to them. This administration is schizophrenic only except for the point that they're going to do anything they can to stack the deck to win elections. And what they think they're doing is importing new Democrat voters, and they will do anything. They will trample the Constitution, they will trample rights, and they will put our country at a national security risk or a health security risk to do that. They simply, quite honestly, unfortunately, don't believe in our country as founded.
Congressman Perry, I know that you're aware that the people in your district are absolutely suffering because of these high gas prices. The Biden administration has had, 7, 8, 9 different excuses and blame that they point the finger to. But ultimately, this is about having an incoherent national energy policy, which also, as you well know, is a national security policy. I'd love for you to react to this indication we're getting today that the Biden administration intends to release more from our oil reserve, which is, last I checked, that's not about the high gas prices. That oil reserve is, again, a national security issue for us, should we, God forbid, be under attack.
Absolutely, Larry. And it's for national security or disaster emergency purposes. It's not to use to try to get reelected or in the midterms or get your party elected in the midterms. And if you look at the timeline, you're going to release the petroleum through the course of the summer right up to election time. But quite honestly, not to pardon the pun, but it's going to be a drop in the bucket, because oil is sold based on futures. And what the future of the oil market knows is that there's no future for them in the Biden administration. Shut off the Keystone Pipeline day one, ended drilling for our natural resources on federal lands, the continental shelf, the Arctic National Wildlife Reserve. Will not issue any permits for natural gas. We're literally buying our natural gas from Russia because we can't, for the New England states, because we disallow ourselves to transport it on ships that for our natural gas that come from America. Jeez. I mean, the strategy really here is to, and people don't want to hear this, but it is to drive up the cost. This is exactly what the Biden administration wants to do, because they want to force you to two things. First, they want to force you to an electric vehicle, and that's if you have the temerity to drive. What they really want to force you to, and this is really true, they want to force you to mass transit. But what they really like you to do is not drive at all, go anywhere at all. And that's what we're really headed to. And if you don't believe me, in California, where they try and get you to buy an electric vehicle, now they're telling you can't charge it because we can't produce enough power. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 21st century in America. We can produce all the power we need. We can distribute it everywhere we want to. But these are policy choices to make you miserable, to force an agenda. And this is your federal government, which has no authority to do this to you whatsoever. But they're trying to control your behavior and control everything you do, when you go, where you go, who you see. Believe me, that's where this is headed.
Wow. Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, Larry.
What's that?
A bicycle.
Oh, great.
But it's so true, Congressman, that they talk about the electric vehicles. They're like, well, you wouldn't have to deal with higher gas prices only if you would buy the $56,000 electric vehicle. I mean, how out of touch have these Democrats become? I mean, it just shows that it's all about dictating your life.
Yeah,
it is all about control of your life. And I find it I find that the American people are like, I can't do this anymore. I want to make my own decisions, but they have been caught in a very serious situation, which is they're paying about $300 more out of pocket for higher food prices, higher gas prices. It's really taking a toll on the American families. And so, I mean, we know that the midterms election is going to be critical, but are Republicans ready to push back on what we find to be these burdensome regulations, on these pieces of legislation that we have seen coming out of the Democrats and the leftists?
Well, I can sure tell you the Freedom Caucus is ready to go, and we can't just count on winning the midterms because we're not as bad as the other side, which is why the Freedom Caucus continues to take the lead. Even, if the rest of the conference won't try and beseech our Democrat friends and colleagues on the other side of the aisle to stop things like Title 42, or quite honestly, when we just passed, with 75% of Republicans voted for it, they passed the omnibus spending bill and didn't get anything for it. All we did is the Freedom Caucus has asked for energy independence, open up ANWR, open up Keystone Pipeline, drilling on federal lands, natural gas permitting. Why couldn't we get that for this trillions of dollars in spending? And we couldn't even ask for that. So we have got to be not only ready to just be better than the Democrats, but to earn the vote of the American people by showing them what we're going to do. And we need to do that every single day when we have an opportunity, whether it's standing against the Supreme Court nominee, standing for energy independence and dominance, or standing for lower prices across the board that aren't tied to environmental craziness that is destroying our country and making us unsafe and unreliable to our allies and imperiling our national security. That's what we need to stand for, and we need to go out and earn that every single day by the things we do and say.
Congressman Perry, coming from Pennsylvania, you're fully aware of the extraordinary voting irregularities and circumvention of basic voter security protocols that happened in the 2020 election, all under the guise of COVID-19. Pennsylvania, your state, was sort of ground zero for a lot of those things. I hate what happened on January 6th because I was really looking forward to a spirited debate in Congress about those irregularities. That's what was supposed to happen.
Right.
That said, could you please comment on, first of all, this kangaroo court that they're calling a committee over the events of January 6th and the current disposition of those who are still being held without hearing, without trial, in these extraordinary circumstances because they were in the Capitol that day?
Yeah, this is really unprecedented what's happening in the United States of America. People's being completely abridged, right? Jesse Smollett is out, but these folks who are charged, I guess, with trespassing are rotting in jail for well over a year now. And meanwhile, this show trial that comes from something out of the Soviet Union just keeps grinding on and taking people's rights away like they just don't exist at all for a political narrative. I think the American people are really sick of it. They understand things happened and they would like to get to the bottom of it. But the January 6th committee has already predetermined the outcome, it appears, in many cases or all cases. And the American people, meanwhile, are suffering under real problems, including one which is where they don't trust their government, whether it's an election, whether it's the CDC, whether it's the war in Ukraine. Our people just don't trust their government anymore because they've been lied to time and time again.
I got to tell you, I mean, we have so many of our friends. A lot of these are young staffers, which were literally part of putting a stage together for the president's rally that day. And they've been subpoenaed. I mean, you're talking about dozens and dozens of these staffers who are innocent and they've literally shown up. One of my friends It was 2 days before her wedding, and that's when they sent out the tweet that she had been subpoenaed. And you're talking about legal bills for these young staffers. You're talking about the fact that they are petrified with what could happen to them. And obviously, many of them have suffered of not being able to find other jobs or worried about getting employment.
Right.
So it's why, Matt and I, we set up this First Amendment fund here at CPAC to help support and pay for the legal fees of these young kids. Matt Whitaker has been so incredibly helpful, volunteering his time to represent them, and his law firm has been so helpful. So, but
this is what it's about. They're trying to criminalize political activity on the right. They're terrified of those rallies.
But what's so disappointing is when you have, and I worked closely with Liz Cheney on policy issues that were really critical for our country, and now to watch her turn her back on Republicans to make a political statement where she now obviously is she's in trouble. I mean, my guess is she's going to basically decide not to run again in the next couple months because there's no way she can win her seat. And really just stand by the side of these Democrats that their only purpose is to take Donald Trump down, to take any of his advisors down, and to basically try to, determine that Donald Trump is a criminal. That's their ultimate goal. And along with it, they're destroying the lives of dozens of these staffers. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, this is the ultimate cancel culture move here. They not only want to silence you, but if you have, again, the gall to think other than you're supposed to, as prescribed by them, they literally will threaten you with prison time. And of course, everybody's watching and think, well, if I've attended a rally, do I have to worry about a subpoena now? And of course, it has a complete chilling effect on conversation. People are afraid to talk to their neighbors, their own family members now, and it's very effective when you use the authority of the federal government. Unfortunately, in Liz's case, not only has she abandoned the Republican Party, and look, you can do that all day long. What we should really be focused on the fact that she's abandoning the Constitution that she took an oath to uphold and defend, and literally her country, in my opinion, because this whole thing, this star change, it has not only does it not have any effect the rule of law, this so-called committee in Congress, but they're literally subpoenaing people and trying to refer them for criminal charges of which really there's no precedent for this, and there's not. This is not an Article III court. This is Congress, where we're supposed to be we're supposed to have hearings to determine if there can be better legislation, if we've missed something in law. This is not supposed to be where you pull people in and destroy their lives and threaten them to jail. But that's exactly what they're using it for. And unfortunately, she took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, and she's completely walked away from that, regardless of whatever feelings are regarding President Trump or his supporters or what have you. To me, she has walked away from her oath and her fealty to what we all stand for here, which is the ideal that the individual is sovereign and we have rights under the Constitution that were handed to us by the good Lord himself.
So I got to just say one thing.
Yeah.
I do wish that they would investigate why Nancy Pelosi decided not to add additional security, knowing the information that they knew. And that, I think, is just absolutely criminal that's not even being brought up.
So we're not in the majority, Mercedes. We're not gonna get to know that for another 8 months or something like that. But that was the first question the day after January 6th that I asked on the House floor. What did Speaker Pelosi know, and when did she know it? Because as most people by now know, she's in charge of security here in the House of Representatives. And when the cry went out for more security based on the potential, apparently she was disinterested in that. But of course, there's never any accountability for the left. We've watched, there's two standards of justice here. And the American people are really, really tired of that hypocrisy, where you can be subpoenaed just for setting up the stage. Yet you probably have, a culpability regarding the attack on the Capitol, and no one says a thing to you.
Well, Congressman, let's make some news here real fast, because I'm with both of y'all. It's driving me nuts that the people in leadership for the Republicans right now won't just step out and say, if you elect us, we will do this. We deserve to hear that. I know that you and the Freedom Caucus, you're trying to push that agenda. So let's start with this. If Republicans get the majority, will you, Congressman Perry, push for a January 6th investigation, a real investigation, to get to the root of the security breakdowns from the Democrats in the majority that day.
Absolutely. And the majority, certainly the Freedom Caucus will. And I can say this, I think that the Republican Party is going to have very robust oversight across the panoply, across the whole spectrum of the Biden administration and the last year and a half. And then at that point, it'll be 2 years. So I think you can expect that. And we are gearing up for that now. So
we have a whole list. It starts with January 6th, ends with Fauci, maybe Hunter Biden. Yes. There's a whole list, Congressman.
And unfortunately, now here's the thing. Of course, we believe in the Constitution and we take an oath to uphold. So we're going to do all this investigation and oversight. And then we're going to refer to the Department of Justice, as we should. And what do you think is going to happen there?
Not much there. Yep.
Right.
I do love, though, speaking of the Constitution, you have some founding documents behind you there on the wall and enshrined in a very... If we connected with AOC right now, it would be the Communist Manifesto behind her. That's not good. You don't want that.
I can't
I'm going to get her in trouble. I'm going to get him in trouble. Yeah, all right.
Well.
Congressman Scott Perry, thank you so much for joining us. This was a wonderful conversation, and we definitely want to have you back on the show.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, and God bless you. Take care of yourselves and your family. Be safe.
God bless you, too.
We'll be right back.
Okay, I was going to call you Schlapp. Oh, my Lord.
Wow.
Larry. I know this is like the end of the show.
Wait,
I'm so sad about this.
I'm supposed to be honored that you mistook me for Matt.
I was about to go Schlapp.
That's what I meant to say. You're constantly slapping me around.
Schlapp is in Houston tonight, and then
I thought he was in Minnesota.
Tomorrow.
Oh, Minnesota's tomorrow.
Doing the Lincoln dinner tomorrow. So
Reagan dinner.
Lincoln dinner.
Is it Lincoln?
It's a Lincoln.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm doing the Reagan dinner in Dallas, I just found out.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yay, come on down to CPAC Dallas.
Oh, that's right. That's the first week of August.
Because who doesn't want to go to Dallas in August?
Well, there's a pool and you're indoors. You're going to be just
It's going to be great. Absolutely.
It's going to be great. We had a wonderful time last year, and this year is going to be the same. Of course, because CPAC, we couldn't just do one big conference. Now we're doing two.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, we have our CPAC international conferences that are fabulous as well.
There may be some Beto jokes.
Oh.
At the Reagan dinner. We got a lot of Beto jokes.
Okay,
I'm already working on the Beto jokes.
Well, that's pretty easy to have some Beto jokes.
It is. It's low-hanging fruit.
You might have to do some Disney jokes, too. You got to be thinking about that.
But that's more Orlando.
Maybe you should dress up as Mickey Mouse. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that might be good.
Maybe,
all right. Or a transgender mouse.
Ooh, that could be controversial.
It's hard to tell a boy mouse from a girl mouse. I mean, without a microscope. Very tiny.
Okay, well, we're closing this off. It's been a great show.
It has. Thanks for having me on for the last time.
For the last
time. After that joke.
No, we'll always have you back, Larry. And remember to follow us at...
Larry O'Connor on Twitter, and that's good enough for now.
Okay, that's great. At MSchlapp, at Mercedes Schlapp, at CPAC. Tell your friends. Keep talking about this great show. We're going to continue expanding our CPAC programming, which we're very excited about. And that's all we've got for tonight.
That's it, except for the hand puppets.
What are the hand puppets for? What is that for?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Good night.
Good night.
The hand puppet.